Welcome to Naga City. Now today's video is going to be a little bit mixed, but the main subject is, can you live in the Philippines for $600 a month? Well, let's talk about it, eh? So we're in Plaza and Centro is back to pre-pandemic life again. I mean, it's really busy. Lots of things happening in Naga. Never a dull moment. Now they say there's not much money in the Philippines. I beg to disagree. And disclaimer, everything I say on these videos is just my opinion and my opinion only. It doesn't represent any Naga officials or police or anybody, depending on the subject. So look over here, guys, before we start. Look over here. This used to be the bandstand, but as you can see, there's construction equipment in there and they're pulling it all down. Now, isn't that sad? Well, not really, because they're going to build a brand new one, and I've seen the pictures of it. It's really quite good. Now, I've noticed this camera, if you point it into the sun, it just blacks out. Now, that's what the GoPro did as well. So all these action cams seem to be more or less the same. This is a DJI Action 4. It's a lovely camera. I prefer it better than my last GoPro, to be quite honest with you. Now, it's lovely to be able to get out into Naga. Let's straighten the camera a bit. I get out here every day and I'll sit somewhere, well, most days, not every day, and I'll sit here and just watch everybody go by. I'm a bit of a people watcher. So anyway, let's get on the subject before everybody starts saying, oh God, here we go. Can you live in the Philippines for $600 a month? Sorry, $600 a month, beg your pardon. I'm gonna give you a rundown of some of the outgoings per month that you're gonna have to pay, and we'll see what we've got left at the end. So the first thing is the obvious one. It's going to be rent. Your rent is going to be between 10 and 15,000 pesos a month. Now that's going to work out at about $174, and if it, well, for 10,000, if it's 15,000, it's going to be $261 a month. Now bear in mind the exchange rate differs depending on, you know, what's going off in the month, you know, what's happening around the world. The other thing is electricity. Now I'm probably guessing if you're on your own you're going to be out most of the time, but if you look at like 2,000 pesos a month, electricity is very expensive in the Philippines, regardless what part of the Philippines you live in. Just going off subject slightly, guys, well, quite a lot. Sampaguita, it's one of the main budget hotels, but even so, it's a very nice hotel if you want to, you know, frequent Naga and, you know, have a reasonable stay at a reasonable price. I'd recommend Sampaguita. Now, guys, for 10, 15,000 a month in Naga, you're not going to get, unless you're very lucky and be in the right place at the right time, you're not going to get something fantastic, but it's going to be reasonable. Now, the further outside of a city you go, the better house you're going to get for the rent. Like, if you go to, like, say, Carayan, where I used to live when I first come to Naga, it's a jeepney ride outside of Naga, but for just a townhouse, you may be looking at 7,000 or 8,000. But the problem is a lot of these landlords, if they rent to a foreigner, expect you I know it sounds crazy, but they expect you to do the place up at least a little bit. For example, I moved into Karayan and I had to replace, well, not replace, I had to put floor tiles down. The faucets and stuff in the toilet weren't working, I had to replace them. I did it with a good heart because the rent was ridiculous every month, cheap I mean. And it was just something I wanted to do. Oh, it's lovely breeze here, guys. I love Naga. People keep saying to me, Chris, if you went in Naga, where would you want to be? And I just keep saying, Naga. I know all the shortcuts, I know where the cheap foods are, and I pretty much know how to get my hands on everything in a budget kind of way. Yeah, I just love Naga. I can't see myself living, I think I'll die here unless something obviously happens which prevents me from doing so. But anyway, let's carry on. So we've spoke about electricity, 2,000 a month. I don't think we're out the realms of credibility there. Water, very cheap. It's only 150 pesos. That's like $2.50, something like that. The electric, $2,034. You know, we're not talking a lot of money, but it soon adds up. Now your food, I've tested it, and you know, it does cost you more to make your own food. Now I know there's a few out there who say, no, that's rubbish. No, it's not. If you're prepared to eat what the locals eat, then you can eat quite cheap. However, you're not going to do that. It's like I keep saying, how long's a piece of string? It's very difficult to do these kind of videos because everybody's different. Everybody's prepared to compromise in certain ways, but not, you know, too much, because we come from the West and we're, you know, used to having luxuries and what have you. You come to the Philippines, and unless you're on a large budget, forget it. Now, food, it's gonna cost you at least, I would say, 9,000 pesos a month for food. Easy, 9,000 a month. Now, there's plenty of places you can go online and find out what 9,000 is in dollars. I might actually put it on the screen when I'm editing. The other thing is visa. It doesn't matter if you live like a Filipino, you've still got to pay your visa. Now the visa is approximately, don't beat me over the head, but it's approximately $27 per month. Now, it's changed with immigration since the pandemic, whereby immigration doesn't have to allow you to stay for the full 3 years. They don't basically have to keep renewing the visa. Now, you're on probationary when you first start, and then before you get your alien registration card, that's at the point where they're gonna basically, do we want him here, do we not want him here, is he here for the right reasons, whatever, because they'll ask you all kinds of questions. In Naga they do, because somebody's going to say, oh, where I come from, Chris, they didn't ask me nothing. Well, it's Naga, and it's different, just like if you're getting a driving license. The conditions are different than what they are in other places. You know, I mean, I'm not saying that immigration could refuse you here, and then you go to an immigration somewhere else and they accept. You know, I'm not saying do that, I'm just saying they might do. So there's a lot of things to think of, and if you come in here with just $600 a month, I'll tell you in a bit what I think. remember what I was going to say. I know I can, I'm just messing. We'll get there in a bit. I'm in the province, and I've had one or two messages over the years about, oh Chris, I've got $600, can I live in the province? And there's a guy just recently saying he is going to live in the province on 600, and he knows he can do it. Never been in the Philippines before, but he can do it. I just find that incredible. Now, there's a number of situations you don't want to get yourself into in the province, and that's not having enough money. Two, it's living in the province on your own, because you're going to have a big target on your back if you're not living with a recognised family. Three is if you have a medical issue and you need to get to hospital fast, you're pretty damn screwed. Because it's not like, you know, in the UK, 999, 911, whatever it is in the US, and the ambulance is there in about 10-15 minutes. Here it can take 3/4 an hour, and then you've got to get back to hospital. The ambulances aren't equipped like they are in the West. You're going to be pretty much screwed. So this is a province, and when the rose-coloured spectacles come off, what do you do? Where do you go? How do you entertain yourself? And if you're on a low income, it's very, very unlikely you're going to get a girl. Well, you did, Chris, yeah, but I think Mel thought I had more than I did. I mean, I can't say that for sure, but a lot of these girls think if you can jump on an aeroplane and get to the Philippines, you're rich. I don't know. She drew the short straw when she picked me anyway. Anyway, I don't know why you'd want to come to the Philippines. I mean, look at it. Why would you want to come here? It's crazy. Go to Iloilo, you know, Dumaguete, Cebu. That's where all the foreigners are. Nah, you don't want to be coming here. Absolutely not. I wouldn't advise it. Naga's too boring, you know, not loads of foreigners. Yeah. Right, I've got to keep the sun behind me, but as you can probably see, they're extending the promenade in Camaligan. They've been on with it for a couple of years or so now. Looks like they're going to build some kind of, I don't know, it might be a barangay building or a restaurant or whatever, I don't know. But this is the last piece of it. So, let's get on with finishing the video off. I bet you're about ready for it. Before we do, look at the scenery, guys. Look at the floating restaurant there. I highly recommend, if you're in Naga, you go on the floating restaurant. It's very cheap, the food's nice, and then when you come back, there's normally some kind of entertainment on. There's another place you can have food, you can have a drink, so it's entirely up to you. So, what do I think about coming to the Philippines with just $600? Well, let me tell you, when I come to the Philippines, I had $585 a month. It wasn't 600, and I couldn't manage even then. That was 10 years ago. Now I've got a family, and because of the situation with my illness, with the floods, with the pandemic, the channel's not doing as well anymore. So we're, with my rent and the channel, We're working on about 38,000 a month. I'll let you know what that is in the editing in dollars. It's not enough. I mean, I've been borrowing off my sister-in-law who owns the shop, used to be Mars shop, and it's embarrassing, and it's, you know, it's not good for a foreigner to borrow off a Filipino family. It's just not good. You know, I'm ashamed, but, you know, when circumstances are like this, there's no choice. So anyway, all the things I told you about, you know, the rents, electric, water, food, visa, it all comes to about 27,700, which is about $483. You can see there's not a deal in it for anything to happen. If you want a girl, which, come on, you want a girl, a woman, there's no money to take the woman out, there's no money to do anything. There's, you know, if you want to travel anywhere, if you smoke, if you drink, you know, how long's a piece of string kind of things, there again. So I would definitely advise against coming with $600. It's not going to work. And if the worst happens and you have to go to hospital, I don't know what you're going to do. I mean, we were looking after Myra. We've still tried to help as much as we can. We've never stopped. But circumstances, I can't go into that. It's too long. But she had to go back to her dad. She didn't want to. Her dad didn't want her to. Again, we help when we can, but it's not very often, obviously. Her father's just had the same as I had, but it was worse with his testimonial. He had to go to hospital. He's had to beg off the family to pay the hospital bill, and it come to more money than mine. He had a really bad infection. So my point is, if you have a problem, you're stuffed. You can't really get around because jeepneys aren't the best way to get around. You could really do it, at least a motorbike. How do you buy the motorbike? How do you maintain it? How do you register it? How do you, you know, fill it with fuel, etc.? So the least I would come to the Philippines with is $1,200. Obviously, 2,000 more would be better, and you'll have a good life here, a really good life. Inflation is the same as in the rest of the world. Prices are going up, but it's nowhere near Western type of prices, unless you go to S&R or somewhere like that and you're buying Western food, then you're going to pay premium price. Simple as that. So I hope you like my video. I hope it's been entertaining and informative. And if you come to the Philippines and you come to Naga, love to see you. See you on the next one, guys. Please subscribe. Please give me the thumbs up. Please leave a comment. It doesn't cost you anything. And we'll see you on the next video. Thanks to Jim. Thanks to the sponsor of the last video. You know who you are, Mr. R. And my friend Adrian and his lovely wife Connie's in the Philippines at the moment. Hi mate, hope you have a great time while you're here. We'll see you on the next one, guys. Bye.
Thanks to the following members and Patreons for their amazing support: Robert Bull, Anthony Neal, George Andrews, John Donachi, Zark Alfrey, Kingsley, Dazlox, Michael Hildebrand, Killer Grub with Mark Bagley, Romeo Roma Santa, Nathan Massengill, Emmanuel Sen Pascual, Zarther Gregory, and Kitchen Baker, Steve Dornbos, Paulo Svensson, Jim Alvair, Scott Slavin, The Professor, Didas Journals, Wade, Daz, Robert Cole, Michael McFarland, Aaron, Dr. Philippines, Wolfen4966, Mira D, Simon Kennedy, Kennedy Supergirls, Simply Monks, Rick's Destination Cebu, Ryan Dawson, Albarjich, Stephen Baxter, Ed from Queens, A Brit's Philippines Destination. Big thanks to all of you.